We're a bit time sensitive today, and you might have got a clue from what's going on behind me at the moment, but the time has come. We're finally doing our first t-shirt on the channel, and it's going to be for a limited time only. As you can see from the glorious design that is currently behind me, there is a t-shirt emblazoned with the words part of the first 10k, and then the name of the website, lollujo.fm, at the bottom there. The 10k obviously refers to the first 10,000 subscribers on the channel. At the time of recording, we're on about 9,100. The moment we hit 10,000, this shirt will be pulled from sale and will never be available to buy again. So it's only going to be available to buy while the subscriber count is below 10,000. At the current rate of growth, that means you've got a couple of weeks, probably. You never know, we might have an explosion and it might go even quicker. Or people might all unsubscribe and you might be able to buy it for the rest of the year. Who knows? But if you are interested in buying one of those shirts, apologies for the weird price amounts. For some reason the website insisted on pricing them up in euros, then converting into pounds, and it kept changing, and I was fiddling with it for days, and in the end I thought, you know what, you can pay a weird price. Weird prices are fine. But if you do want to buy one of these shirts, the place to go to is lollujo.fm/store. While you're there, obviously pick yourself up a shirt. It's available in a variety of colours, variety of sizes, and delivery takes less than a week apparently. But you can have a mooch around the new website, lollujo.fm, as well. See what else is there that takes your fancy. We've got links there to the Patreon, to Amazon stuff, to obviously both the YouTube channels, a contact form. There's all sorts of goodies on there for you to have a nose around on. You can even join my mailing list, and one day I might even send you an email. But that's not part of today's official message. The focus in on today is if you want to own one of those mighty fine t-shirts that you can see above me now, what you need to do is head to lollujo.fm/store, and you need to do it soon because there's not long left until they're just pulled from sale, and you'll never ever be able to prove to the world that you were part of the first 10,000. Hello and welcome to Season 7, Part 5 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're playing Celtic for about their 500th time this season. Plus, we've got another game against Inverness, Caledonian Thistle. And then eventually we get a winter break, which apparently comes after New Year, which seems a little bit weird. Why not give them the winter break over Christmas? I don't understand. That seems odd. Since you were last with me, form has been a little bit mixed. I would expect it to be mixed for the rest of the season from here on in. We lose against the good teams, we beat the not so good teams, we draw against the ones in the middle. It's about how you'd expect us to be. As it stands at the moment, we're approaching the halfway point of the season, and we're just in that all-important 6th place spot. If we can secure a finish there and end up in the top half of the season when the split happens, top half of the table, at the split, then I'm going to be happy. I'll call that a successful season. We're not going to get into Europe realistically unless we win the other cup as well, because apparently the one we've won doesn't get us into Europe. But there's a big gap forming between that top 4, who all seem fairly evenly matched. Hibs, Rangers, Celtic, Ross County, all fairly evenly matched, only 2 points separating all 4 of them. But then there's a big 10-point gap to Hearts and us, and Partick Thistle, Dundee, sort of just behind them. So we're not going to get into Europe unless we win another cup, but it would be nice to finish in the top half and have something to build on for next year. Encouragingly, on the top goal scorers front, Matthew Knox is now second in the league with 10 goals. Jackson and Devlin are still 2 of the best 3 players in the division, and Knox is also starting to rack up the man of the match awards as well. So on the player front, as well as on the team front, things are starting to look rather good here at Hamilton. This is the team that we're going to be playing for today's game. Remember, we're playing Celtic. We've already beaten them once this season. The chances of a win are slim, but we'd like to go there and not embarrass ourselves. So we've got Miguel in goal, who, yes, I would like to sign permanently. He has been brilliant recently. I will try and sign him permanently as and when the opportunity arises. A back 4 of Hamilton, Jackson, Devlin and Hendry, with Cash, Gillespie and Doherty in midfield, and Logan in behind Hardy and Knox. A couple of people have been asking for Ryan Hardy down in the comments. He's been injured. I don't think I remembered to tell you. He's just coming back from injury. I know he'll score goals. Now he's going to get a little run in the team again because Burkhart is still injured. I can't even remember what's wrong with him, but he's been out for a little while now. There you go. He's got a thigh strain, so he's out for at least another week. You're not going to see him today. Babos is injured as well. So Hardy very much going to get himself an opportunity over the next couple of games. We're 10-1 to win this game. Bearing in mind the last time we met, we beat them as well. 10-1. I mean, I'd put, if it wouldn't get me banned from Football Management for life, I'd stick a tenner on us at 10-1. It just seems mad not to. We're capable of beating Celtic. We probably won't, but I don't think we'd only beat them once in every 10 meetings. That doesn't seem right. That's not how things have gone so far this season. I think this is the third or the fourth time we've played them, and we've won one of them. So your 10-1 is nonsense unless we're going to lose the next 5 or 6, in which case that's going to be fairly miserable. We're 1-0 down in this one, so we're on course to just keep losing them, which makes me a bit sad. Let's have a look at the replay. I mean, look at the acres of space. Their left winger was in there. That was just ridiculous. Are we even playing with a right back? And it doesn't matter what happened after there. They had so much time and space to get the cross in. That all has to go on Hendry. He's our right back. He should have been in there stopping that amount of space. I don't even know how that happened. Had he pushed forward? Had he drifted inside? That was just silly. And you can't give Celtic that kind of chance, because now they're 1-0 up and they don't need to push it now. They can just sit on their 1-0 and be happy. Hendry very far forward again, but finds Devlin, who's also very far forward, as is Cash. Doherty is as well. Everyone's far forward. There's Hendry again in their penalty area. Crosses to Knox. And I don't mind Hendry being that far forward if that's what he's going to do. Crosses it into Knox. Knox tucks it past their keeper. That's his 15th goal of the season. He's closing in on being the top scorer in the division now, and has scored a very, very important goal to equalise against Celtic in the first minute of this second half. And suddenly, it's a completely different game. Celtic can't sit back now. They need to beat us far more than we need to avoid losing. We, in our pre-season planning, would expect to lose a game like this. They would expect to win it, and they're not top of the league at the moment. So not only would they expect to win a game like this, they kind of need to be winning games like this. I'm bringing on Adil Nabi. I don't think I've told you we've signed him. I brought him in because I know him from Posh in real life. Not that he's ever really had a proper run in our team. I think he's left now, actually. Is he even still at the club? I think he's left. Who knows? He played so infrequently, it makes no difference whether he's still at the club or not. But I recognised his name when he came from the scout reports. And actually, he's a fairly decent backup option as an attacking midfielder. He can also play as a striker, and he's fairly cheap. So he's going to come on and play as the attacking midfielder for the last 20 minutes of this game. We're also going to take off Hendry, who is shattered and not playing very well. Peter McNulty comes on for him, and I think this is a lad we signed from Celtic in the summer. It is. So surely a player who came through the Celtic youth team, written in the stars that he's going to score the winner now, isn't it? Cash finds Hendry, so he's not actually on the pitch yet because Hendry's still there. But Hamilton's got himself nicely far forward on that left-hand side. Can't get a cross in though, which they're closing him down well, but we're knocking the ball down nicely. And Hamilton does find some space that time, finds Cash, who very tame shot is collected by the Celtic goalkeeper. And I'd like my substitutions now, please. Our 2 players are shattered. And now Celtic come at us again. And again, we have no right back. Hendry has pushed on miles. We might have to balance this out long term. I think for today, I'm just happy to have him charging forward because his crosses are so threatening. Yes, we'll concede a few goals, but we also scored one off the back of it as well. And I'd rather have a game be 1-1 than 0-0 because 0-0 is just boring. Right, Celtic with the corner, Cash heads clear, and we've got a chance for a break here, but we're not pushing out with enough urgency. Was that McNulty or Naby? It was one of the substitutions. I think it was Naby, actually. Just didn't seem to want to take advantage of the fact the ball was loose and ready for a break. Right, final substitution time, and I mean, I could bring off any of them really. They've all got identical ratings, identical conditioning, identical match sharpness. Grant, who's less? We'll take Gillespie off. He plays there the least often of all of them. So, I mean, they're all fairly similar. I'm looking to bring in another central midfielder in the transfer window. I'm not happy with the selection that we've got there, especially now we've started playing Hamilton a bit further back at left back because he's good at it. I think he's solved our left back problem. There you go, getting a man in the match today. But it leaves us a little bit weak in central midfield, so that's a problem we're going to look to address. But that was a fantastic result against Celtic, and now we want to go and have a good result in whoever we're playing next. Inverness, I think it is. Right, Inverness are second bottom, so I would like to think there should be a team we're capable of putting a few goals past. We don't need a huge number of changes, just freshening up the midfield a little bit by bringing Akpan into the side at the expense of Greg Doherty, who drops back down to the bench. Other than that, we are unchanged. Babos is training again, but not fit enough to be on the bench. And Burkart's still not fit enough to be back in training. Who cares about it being bad weather? We like bad weather. We're quite capable of lumping it out to the wing, whipping in across, and having one of our centre forwards nod the ball into the back of the net. And that is how you play football in the bad weather. So we can do the pretty stuff. We can do the ugly stuff as well. What we do need to do is make sure we beat Inverness. It's a switch around of the situation we were talking about in the last game. We will have budgeted for beating Inverness at the start of the season. So if we don't beat them, that's a bit of a problem in a league that's has such a wide range of ability of teams in there. It's very nice to go to Celtic and pinch a draw, but we've not budgeted for any points from there. These 2 games for today, in all of our pre-season planning, we'd be thinking, right, Celtic away, Inverness at home, that's 3 points there. So there's no use going to Celtic and getting 1 and then losing against Inverness, because that's 1 is less than 3. There you go, maths with Kev. But who cares, because Matthew Knox has got his 16th goal of the season now, which I think does make him top goal scorer in the SPL. We need to keep an eye on him and his contract and his transfer status over the course of the transfer window, because he is starting to score goals for fun now. He's got into a recent Scotland squad again, so he's a player who is going to be noticed, and with those 4 much bigger and richer clubs in the league ahead of us, with that big 10-point glass ceiling that is directly above us and separating us from those 4 teams, any one of them could just come and take him away from us and just stick him in the reserves. They don't even have to take him and play him. They just take him off us so that we lose our main goal threat, and it just ensures we don't make up the gap between us and them. So that's certainly how I'd be playing it if I was one of those top 4. If I was Celtic or Rangers looking down on us from where they are now, and I'm thinking, well, hang on, they've got this lad who's scored 16 goals by Christmas. He's only going to cost us $1.5 million to bring him in. I don't even care if we need him. Let's just sign him, because then Hamilton are no longer a threat to our European position. And you never know, the lad might turn out to be any good as well. But even if he's not, who cares? He was cheap. Logan's made it 2-0. Huzzah. There you go. That was a bit of Kev's ruthless transfer policy you got there. You didn't realise I was that much of a monster. There's a man doing star jumps next to a brick wall. I love Scottish football. This is ridiculous. There's just brick walls on 3 sides of this ground. Is this what it's like in real life? They've just got one massive 5,000-seater or maybe a 5,000-person terrace on one side of the ground, and the other 3 sides are brick walls. Because that's mental if that's the case. Right, McNulty's coming on. We're also going to take off Grant Gillespie and bring on Doherty again. We'll just swap him and Akpan over and make Akpan the ball-winning midfielder. Doherty is fairly useful as a box-to-box midfielder as well. It's certainly, if he was going to get a proper long run in the team, that's the position he'd likely to be doing it in. We're going to take Akpan off as well. We've got Sterling sat there on the bench, who really needs to impress me today, because his place in the squad is under threat from the potential of a new midfielder coming in, because we can't just keep swelling the squad forever. We are going to have to get rid of a few names over the transfer window. If we do bring in some of the targets we've identified, we want a new midfielder. That means someone's got to be on their way, and it's probably going to be Ben Sterling. But for today, we have picked up a very important 2-0 win. Apparently, that's moved us into a continental qualification spot. If the top 5 get into Europe, then that changes everything, and we actually have a chance to do this. That would be amazing. 5th place. You're in a league of 12. Almost half the teams make it into Europe. That's nuts. Well, before you disappear, we'll just show you a little bit of transfer business, because there is some transfer stuff that's been arranged now. One of them, not at all happy about, because this lad has been sold out from under me by the board. I'm not going to blame George Boyd for this. I'm sure he was fighting my corner. But he was sat down in the youth team. I hadn't even noticed him yet, because we've been fussing about how to get Steve McIntosh into the team. But apparently we had another 5-star centre-back, attracting attention of English Premier League sides as well. I didn't even notice. He's still sat in the youth team, or was, and Southampton have come in and offered next to nothing for him, and for some reason we've accepted. And that deal's just there. It's finalised. I didn't ever accept it. I don't remember seeing it come in, but he's gone. He leaves for what could eventually be worth 850,000, going to Southampton. There's teams in for McIntosh again, but we've still got hold of him at the moment. We've got a youngster coming in who I haven't signed. No, not the whole of Athlone Town. Anthony Brennan is a right back who's coming in from them. I don't know who he is. I guess Boydie's signed him as well, maybe. But this guy I do know. You'll remember him as well. Josh De Silva is coming in from Southend. I paid a lot of money for him 18 months ago. He's never really established himself at Southend, but I think this lad might be the central midfielder we need. So he's coming in for not a lot of money. We're only paying 175,000 for him, so much less than I paid for him last time. And I think he's going to be a good addition to that midfield. And then with the Walker money, I guess the priority is to throw more money at McIntosh and Knox to make sure they don't leave. Maybe. Let me know what you'd do in the transfer window, because that's what we're going to be doing before the next video. And if you've enjoyed that, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. Thank you very much for watching. And don't forget to get your t-shirt ordered.